North Korea is likely preparing to deploy additional troops in Russia and provide the Kremlin with military equipment, including kamikaze drones. The Kremlin will use this contingent and weapons provided by Pyongyang in its war against Ukraine, reports Yonhap news agency. The assessment by South Korean intelligence services was made in connection with Seoul's information about North Korea sending thousands of soldiers to Russia, which is conducting a large-scale military aggression against Ukraine. It also takes into account the casualties among North Korean soldiers during the fighting. According to South Korea's intelligence agency, the number of casualties among North Korean military personnel is currently estimated at approximately 1,100. A comprehensive assessment of multiple intelligence shows that North Korea is preparing to rotate or increase the deployment of troops in Russia, while currently supplying 240mm rocket launchers and 170mm self-propelled artillery, said the Joint Chiefs of Staff of South Korea in a statement. The South Korean Ministry of Defense also reported some signs that North Korea is moving towards producing and supplying kamikaze drones, which were first unveiled during Kim Jong-un's on-site inspection. The Joint Chiefs of Staff explained that this step reflects Pyongyang's efforts to gain practical combat experience and modernize its conventional weapon systems. Last month, North Korean state media reported that Kim Jong-un observed on-site tests of various types of kamikaze drones. The North Korean leader also called for mass production of this type of weapon, which is becoming increasingly important in modern warfare due to its cost effectiveness. North Korea continues to supply its weapons to Russia. The transfer may include another medium-range ballistic missile, reports Defense Express. Recently, a video was posted online showing another echelon of weapons and military equipment from the DPRK. The footage was allegedly shot in the Tyumen region, and this material attracts attention for two reasons. First, the video shows at least 10 self-propelled 170mm artillery systems M1989 Koksan. Moreover, this is the second echelon with such systems spotted on the territory of Russia in recent days. Secondly, in addition to the Koksan systems, 5 pieces of equipment can be seen in the frame, which are probably launchers for Pukguksong-2 medium-range ballistic missiles, also known as Polar Star or KN-15 in the American classification. The newspaper notes that until clear footage is available, it is not yet possible to say for certain that this is the missile. However, there is a high probability that North Korea and Russia have an agreement to strengthen the Russian troops with more and different types of weapons. Like most of North Korea's weapons, the Pukguksong-2 ballistic missile was developed in strict secrecy. Because of this, the exact tactical and technical characteristics remain conditional, especially with regard to its range. Open sources indicate that the missile's operating range can be between 1,200 and 1,300 kilometers. Some sources suggest the possibility of reaching a distance of more than 2,000 kilometers, and some reports even indicate a range of more than 3,000 kilometers. However, such figures look doubtful and are most likely an exaggeration with a propaganda bias. A group of Russian armed forces tried to break through to liberated Kherson and was predictably destroyed. On this occasion, betrayal reigns in the Z channels. Ukrainian blogger Nikolaevsky Vanek, associated with the armed forces of Ukraine, reported high activity of the occupiers in the Kherson direction. According to him, 2 groups of Russian armed forces, under cover of heavy fire, attempted to break through to the Antonov Bridge. The assault groups did not arrive. There were 2 of them. More precisely, they did not swim. The battle ended before it really began. A few days ago, an entire company of the 24th Motorized Rifle Regiment of the Russian Armed Forces refused to carry out today's great mission. In the end, they survived, he wrote. Russian political strategist Stanislav Belkovsky suspected that Russian dictator Vladimir Putin could have set his army the goal of reoccupying Kherson before the inauguration of the new US President Donald Trump. The Kremlin is preparing for Trump's inauguration. What needs to be done before? By January the 20th, 2025, take Kherson. To show that the entire Kherson region is under the Russian Federation's thumb. Concentrated efforts will now be directed at this, he wrote. Odessa collaborator Igor Dmitriev, who fled to the Russian Federation, also believes that the escalation in the Kherson direction is preparation for a peace agreement. He suspected that the Kremlin wants to exchange this territory for the Kursk bridgehead of the Ukrainian armed forces. Did I understand correctly that the landing on the right bank of the Dnieper is needed in order to later exchange the right bank bridgehead for the Ukrainian armed forces bridgehead in the Kursk region, and so that Kiev does not try to exchange the Kursk bridgehead for something else, something valuable, the traitor of Ukraine reported. The Russian Z channel VDV for Honesty and Justice published a letter from a relative of a Russian soldier who was killed while trying to break into Kherson. My brother died during assault actions in the water in the Kherson region. I'm just crying. I don't know how you can survive this. General Teplinsky sent them knowingly to their death on boats. I don't think you need to be a strong expert to understand that those boats are unlikely to reach the other shore. Why? The Russian woman wrote. Z blogger Fighter Bomber, who is associated with the Russian Aerospace Forces, was also not thrilled with the operation. There is a strong feeling that we have pushed the SVO into the background and are preparing for a new Trump in the hope of the best. Therefore, we talk about achievements over the year. Somewhere there, in passing, we throw our fighters into suicidal crossings of the Dnieper, apparently with the goal of capturing Kherson by the new year, and are engaged in sluggish responses to attacks by the Ukrainians, the propagandist complained.